And before I start my comments, I just want to announce that I'm going to have a little sidebar for the media if they're interested on this headline that was in the Journal today, which inaccurately, indicates that there's a effort to replace the child advocate in the state of Rhode Island, and I'm really pretty concerned about that, and I want to make sure there's a full clarification on that, and hopefully the rest of the media that's not here hears that, and that they're here to talk to me afterwards, because that needs to be corrected. Well, it's good to be here. And I'm glad to be here with the IBEW, Local 99, to make another exciting announcement that continues to show the momentum that we have in the state of Rhode Island that I've never seen before. And we continue that momentum because we're investing in things like the blue economy and the green economy. Today, I'm happy to be here with our Lieutenant Governor, our new Interim Office of Energy Resource Commissioner, Chris Kearns. Congratulations on that new appointment. We're very excited about that, and along with the IBEW Local 99 and Joe. This is an announcement for Rhode Island residences and businesses about a plan to create heat pump rebates that will help improve the state's energy efficiency and reduce greenhouse gas emissions, which is consistent with the Clean Air Act that I signed in the spring of 2021. The reduction of greenhouse gases emissions will also help lower pollution-induced health impacts, especially for those living in communities with high asthma rates. Today's announcement is one part of a comprehensive strategy to protect our environment and grow our clean energy and our economy at the same time. We introduced and passed through the General Assembly the Offshore Wind Procurement Law, the largest renewable energy procurement legislation passed by the General Assembly in the last 15 years. And we extended the State Renewable Energy Fund program and launched an electric vehicle rebate incentive program to reduce transportation related to greenhouse gas emissions. And also we announced that with the new electrified buses, and I'm going to be on one of those electric buses going to the beach on Sunday, on Bay Day. That's going to be a lot of fun. We want everybody to enjoy our ocean state. We extended the state's energy efficiency programs that provides rebates to reduce energy usage and utility bills. And also on that issue, on the utility, we will have a letter announcing our intention to be very engaged with the upcoming PUC hearings on the proposed electric increases on electric bill. And we intend to be very aggressive on that to lower that cost to a level that we can afford. And we're working with our congressional leadership as well as our General Assembly members on exactly that. But this is all about energy, and it's all about shifting to a renewable strategy in our energy, and our heat pumps are part of that. So together we made Rhode Island the first state in the country to set a 100% renewable energy standard for electricity generated by 2033. First in the country, and the work that we're doing right now and announcing today is part of that effort. We did these things together in partnership because it's good for our environment and it's good for our economy. And I'll repeat again, jobs is our best defense against a recession. And having good paying jobs and people working, and today, with the lowest unemployment rate in the history of the state of Rhode Island, and there's still good paying jobs available, that is a good formula to defend ourselves against any economic downturn going forward. And Rhode Island has never been in that position. We've always been first in and last out of economic downturns. We can reverse that. And announcements like today, a $25 million investment in installing heat pumps, not only on the energy side, but putting good people to work, people that are a member of this Local 99, to work with good paying jobs. That is our best defense against a potential upcoming recession. So I'm happy to be here. I look forward to working with everyone here to keep this momentum going and to be doing everything we can to make sure that the people in the state of Rhode Island are employed in good paying jobs, that we're focused on the environment as we have been for the last 15 months while I've been in office, and then also focused on making sure that our economy continues grow in the way that it has been over the last 15 months. And with that, I'll introduce Lieutenant Governor Matos, and I will also encourage anybody that wants to hear about this headline to be gathering with me after this event outside. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Joe, for hosting. It's so good to be here in your house. As the governor said, one of the priorities that we have, or one main priority, is to increase the income of the residents of the state of Rhode Island so we can fight any economic downturn that could happen. And so I want to thank the governor for being so dedicated and paying all your attention to helping the residents of Rhode Island with our economy. It's always a pleasure to be here with all of you. And I wanted to say that this is a deeply important program, not only for fighting climate change, but also as a matter of equity. Heating your home in the winter can be one of the most stressful part of managing a budget in a low-income household. This program is going to help with your budget, and it's going to be an important tool for nonprofit organizations also, especially those that are working and that has been serving as warm centers during the winter. This is going to help you save dollars that you can rededicate those funds on helping your clients in making sure that you have more resources to help your clients. I know personally that this will make a difference for some of our seniors. And last week, when I sent out a newsletter with some updates about how what residents could do to keep themselves safe during the heat wave, we got an email from Leslie from Cumberland, right? And Leslie said, what about, that is great, but what about the winter? Well, Leslie, here's an answer for the winter. I hope that you applied and your family applied to make sure that you can get a heat pump also in your home. In this facing rising oil prices, this program is exactly what we need to make sure that the residents of Rhode Island can afford paying for the heat during the winter. So thank you so much. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the Intern Director, Commissioner Chris. Chris?
Thank you, Governor and Lieutenant Governor, for that introduction, and thank you for your climate leadership. Governor, since you signed the Act on Climate last year, the Office of Energy Resources has been working to advance important greenhouse gas emission reduction strategies across our electric, transportation, and heating sectors. We have been collaborating across the administration through the EC4 with energy and environmental stakeholders, our trade and labor union groups, lawmakers, and engaged citizens to explore the needs of our community as we develop vitally important pathways to reducing our net zero emissions by 2050. Programs and investments like this one are vital to Rhode Island's fight against climate change. The thermal sector makes up 1/3 of the state's emissions. In order to meet our Act on Climate mandates, multiple pathways need to be pursued to decarbonizing home heating oil will have to be pursued. That's why through the High Energy Efficiency Heat Pump Program, we are incentivizing one of the most efficient heating and cooling technologies available. So here are the details of this new program that we're going out through a 30-day public comment period. If you go to our energy website, you'll see all the details on the homepage to provide comments over the next several weeks. So it's going to be $25 million to support a suite of expanded heat pump incentives through 2026. A broad range of customers will be eligible for these new incentives. And it's very important to the Governor and the Lieutenant Governor, including renters, small businesses, community-based organizations, and enhanced incentives will be available for low-income users and disadvantaged communities, such as those that have high asthma rates from poor air quality or caused by burning of fossil fuels. So the residential incentive will be available to all Rhode Island customers who are currently using fossil fuel heating and cooling appliances. The enhanced incentive will provide additional funds to low-income and disadvantaged customers. The community incentive will be available to Rhode Island small businesses, nonprofits, community organizations, and public buildings. We also will be including a workforce development incentive to provide opportunities to scale up and train critical industry that these opportunities will provide. There's a number great URI Energy Fellow students. Those guys are the future of this industry, so we need to make sure that we have those stable programs and policies in place for them to go out in the field with members of IBEW and other trade groups. In closing, again, I just want to thank the OER team here today for all their efforts with everything that we're doing. And I want to pay a particular acknowledgement to our staff lead on our energy heat pump program, Annika, in our office. She's going to be leading this, dealing with all the public comments over the next 30 days and getting this program up and running before the end of the year. So I appreciate you all coming out today. And again, this is a major win for us in terms of advancing and achieving the objectives of the Act on Climate Law. Thank you.
I would also add that this was approved in the budget. So we thank the General Assembly members for approving virtually everything that we put into the budget to kind of keep this economy going. And this $25 million is a significant investment. We want to thank the General Assembly members, the Senate President, and the Speaker for following through on the budget proposals that we put back into.
Taking questions, sir?
Sure.
Perhaps a question for the director. Not a lot of Rhode Islanders are familiar with the technology. They hear heat pump, they hear, and they understand that's a very good thing. Can you talk to us a little bit about the technology and also the cost of, let's just, and I know this is ballpark, but the cost of, say, a heat pump facility for, say, a 2,000 square foot regular Cape that most Rhode Islanders live in, and what you're anticipating potentially the range of incentives to be?
Yeah, it's a good question. Heat pumps are a fairly new technology over the last couple of years. The easiest way for me to kind of use a comparison for the average person that's looking at this, it's kind of like an AC unit in terms of pumping out cool air, hot air, depending on the season, coming through our electricity usage. Ultimately, the incentives that we're looking at right now, potentially on average, we'll look at a $3,000 to $4,000 incentive for these installations. A heat pump installation, as you're probably aware, the dollar cost range is anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 for a heat pump installation in a home, in a business. We believe this incentive will provide an incentive to make that conversion. We've had a limited heat pump program to date with about $2 million, which has translated roughly about 500 plus heat pump installations over the last 6 to 12 months. So we're fairly confident through the public comment period, which is really important for the governor and the lieutenant governor, is we get input from the various sectors in terms of this technology. What is the incentive level need to be to make this program work? Because again, $25 million will go a long way to deploying these heat pumps across the state for those individuals that want to potentially shift. They have an old heat pump or they have an old heating oil tank and they want to potentially convert to a more efficient usage with heat pumps, or they have a propane tank that is ending its life cycle and they want to make that conversion. So it's important for us to get the comments, including the rebate incentive amounts, to make the economics work for the different constituents that may access this program.
And you'll approve propane replacement as well as heating oil?
So it's for the heat pump conversion.
Right.
What we're talking about is if you have a homeowner or say a municipal community center that has a 20, 30-year-old heat pump, and they're like, okay, it's ending its life cycle, we know it, let's start thinking ahead in terms of, do we want to make a conversion in terms of the heat pump efforts, the energy efficiency programs that the governor had mentioned. He extended out the state energy efficiency programs through the end of 2028. So homeowners, businesses, community centers, they can leverage the state energy efficiency programs that the governor extended in terms of lighting, insulation, and then leverage this heat pump program as well. It can make a big difference in terms of energy savings for those individuals, but make a major difference in terms of advancing our emission requirements under the Act on Climate.
What about people's bills? We talk about the price of oil and gas in the winter, but electric bills are really high too. And I'm guessing this runs off electricity. So if you don't have solar panels, what are we looking at as the price differences between your monthly oil bill in the winter and your electric bill by right means?
Yeah, so it's going to be very specific to that individual. Again, some homeowners have electricity bills that range from $75 a month to $300, $400 a month in terms of family situations. Heating oil and propane is national and global market conditions in terms of the price of those technologies. Ultimately, heat pumps are going to draw down on electricity. As the governor mentioned, we have now extended out our state renewable energy standard in terms of utilities being required to procure a a certain percentage of renewable electricity to get to that 100% mark by 2033. That we will be the first state in the country to get to that 100% mark compared to other states. So it's going to come into a number of plays, but ultimately the heat pumps are going to draw down on electricity. A lot of that electricity is going to be coming from renewable-based resources. But in terms of the comparison to a heat pump installation compared to your average electricity bill now to what you are having your propane or your heating oil cost, it's very home or business specific in terms of the usage, and then ultimately what the prices are for heating oil, propane on the open market.
And this wouldn't be air conditioned as well, right? Just heat?
So heating and cooling. is
Okay,
what-
so like
what
the
heat
mini
pumps.
splits that people talk about?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Before taking the question, just go ahead and review what's being issued.
I just gotta say a few comments in Spanish. Renado's gonna have the Latino problem later. Nosotros estamos aquí haciendo un anuncio hoy, un programa nuevo que el gobernador está anunciando. Si usted tiene su sistema de calefacción que tiene que ser reemplazado, este es un programa que le va a dar a usted la oportunidad de aplicar para recursos para que pueda cambiar su sistema de gas o de aceite a un sistema que se llama el heat pump, que viene a ser una pompa de calor. En realidad, para nuestra comunidad lo conocemos mucho como el mini split, que muchos de ustedes han visto ya que muchas personas están cambiando. Si usted estaba pensando en cambiar el sistema de calefacción en su casa o si estaba pensando en agregar una unidad de AC, de Reinaldo, you gotta help me with AC, de aire acondicionado. Si querían agregar una unidad de aire acondicionado, esto le va a ayudar a usted con esos gastos. Y es una forma en que usted puede ahorrar dinero, puede ayudar a nuestro sistema, ayudar a nuestra, si usted sabe cómo estuvo la calefacción, cómo estuvo tan caliente los días de la semana pasada. Este es el futuro y tenemos que hacer nuestra parte para ayudar a nuestra tierra con el cambio climático que está pasando. Gracias.
Thank you.
One quick question. While you're here, Director, can you give us a status update? Now, I believe you've officially rolled out the EV program. Are you getting a lot of acceptance, embracing the rollout?
Yeah, so two things actually to highlight is the Office of Energy Resources working with the Department of Transportation and the Department of Environmental Management will be formally filing the EV charging infrastructure plan to the federal government next week. That's in relation to the roughly $23 billion of federal funding that was in the governor's budget in terms of implementing those funds for the charging station infrastructure. So that's going to be filed next week. And then to your question regarding the EV rebate incentive program, that program opened up on July 7th. We have been working to implement that. We have seen uptake in terms of applicants submitting for that program. It's going to be, I think, available for the next several plus months, just using the previous EV rebate program that we had. I believe that lasted roughly about 12 to 15 plus months. So everything has been going smoothly in terms of the applications that are filed. Again, all that information is on our website. Sarah from my team may be here. She's in charge of implementing the program. It's been going overall very smoothly.
Any ballpark on how many applications you've received?
I would have to follow up with you
Okay.
afterwards. I can put you in touch with Sarah from our team.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
So Governor, we're meeting you outside? Okay.